My 13-year-old niece destroyed her dying brother's final wish, and I am still shaking. I'm still staring at the pile of broken wood and scattered photos on the hospital floor, my hands trembling as I try to process what just happened. 30 seconds ago, my nephew Jake was proudly showing us the memory box he'd spent 3 weeks making in the children's hospice craft room. 30 seconds ago, his pale 8-year-old face was lit up with the biggest smile I'd seen since his diagnosis. Now he's sobbing into his pillow, and my 13-year-old niece Mia is standing over the wreckage of his final gift with her arms crossed and that defiant look I've come to dread. Mia, what the hell did you just do? My sister Claire's voice cracks as she drops to her knees, frantically gathering the scattered contents. Photos of our family, handwritten notes in Jake's careful second-grade handwriting, a painted rock collection, small toys he'd picked out specifically for each of us, all of it trampled under Mia's designer sneakers. I'm sick of everyone acting like his stupid crafts are so amazing, Mia snaps, flipping her hair over her shoulder. It's just a dumb box. He gets praised for gluing popsicle sticks together while I get A's in honors classes and nobody cares. The cardiac monitor beeps frantically as Jake's breathing becomes labored. 3 months of aggressive treatment have left him weighing barely 50 pounds, his once bright brown eyes now sunken and tired. But for the past week, this project had given him purpose. Every day from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., he'd work in that craft room, telling me about the special memories he was putting in each family member's section. The photo of him and Mia building sandcastles last summer. The ticket stub from the baseball game where I caught a foul ball and gave it to him. A drawing of our dog Max, who passed away 2 years ago. This one's for Mia, he'd whispered to me yesterday, carefully placing a friendship bracelet he'd made from embroidery thread. I made it pink and purple because those are her favorite colors. And look, I wrote her a letter telling her all the things I'll miss about her. I watched him labor over those letters for hours, his small hands shaking from the medication but his determination unwavering. He'd made one for each of us, Mom, Dad, Claire, Mia, me, even our grandparents. His final gift to the people he loved most. And Mia just destroyed it because she couldn't stand not being the center of attention for 5 minutes. Jake spent weeks on this, I say, my voice deadly quiet as I pick up a torn photo of the two of them at Christmas morning 3 years ago. He made this for our family. For you. Whatever. He'll make another one. Mia examines her manicured nails like she's discussing the weather. That's when it hits me, she doesn't know. Despite 3 months of hospital visits, despite the hushed conversations and the way adults' voices change when Jake leaves the room, despite the fact that he's been moved to palliative care, Mia somehow doesn't understand that there won't be time for another one. Jake won't see Christmas. He probably won't see Halloween. Dr. Martinez gave us 6 to 8 weeks, and that was 3 weeks ago. There won't be another memory box. There won't be another chance for him to show his sister how much he loves her. And she just crushed the only one he had the strength to make. I watch my sister Claire's face crumble as she holds up the destroyed letter Jake wrote for her. The paper is torn down the middle, his carefully practiced cursive split between Dear Mommy and Love You Forever. Her hands shake as she tries to piece it back together, but Mia's tantrum was thorough. She didn't just knock the box over, she stomped on it, kicked it, made sure every single piece was ruined. Mia Elizabeth Jen Morrison, you will apologize to your brother right now. Claire's voice has that dangerous edge that used to terrify me when we were kids, but Mia just rolls her eyes. For what? Breaking his little art project? Maybe now he'll do something actually useful with his time instead of wasting everyone's. He's dying. The words hang in the air like a physical thing. I hadn't meant to say them, but watching Jake's tear-streaked face as he stared at the ruins of 3 weeks' worth of love and effort broke something inside me. Claire shoots me a horrified look. They'd decided to wait until after Jake's birthday next month to tell Mia the truth about his prognosis. But I can't take it back now. Mia's defiant expression falters for exactly 2 seconds before the mask slides back into place. No, he's not. He's sick, but people get better. He's been in the hospital before. Not like this, I say quietly. The treatments aren't working anymore, Mia. Dr. Martinez moved him to palliative care last week. Do you know what that means? You're lying. But there's uncertainty in her voice now, and she's looking between Claire's devastated face and Jake's still form on the bed. Mom, tell her she's lying. Claire can't speak. She's clutching the torn letter and crying silently, the kind of tears that come when you're trying not to fall apart in front of your dying child. 6 to 8 weeks, I continue, because someone has to say it. That was 3 weeks ago. The memory box wasn't just a craft project, Mia. It was his goodbye gift. To all of us. Including you. Jake has gone quiet, that scary kind of stillness that sends nurses running. His breathing is shallow and his lips have a bluish tint that makes my chest tight with panic. I press the call button and within seconds, 2 nurses burst through the door. What happened here? Nurse Patricia takes one look at the destruction on the floor and Jake's vital signs on the monitor. Jake, honey, can you talk to me? She broke it, he whispers, so quietly we have to lean in to hear him. I made it for everyone and she broke it. His blood pressure spiking, the other nurse murmurs to Patricia. Should we call DR? Martinez? Please, Claire manages through her tears. He's never been this upset. As the nurses work to stabilize Jake, I watch Mia slowly sink into the chair by the window. The reality is starting to hit her, the machines, the urgency in the nurses' voices, the way Claire is holding Jake's hand like she's afraid to let go. The room that used to feel like a temporary inconvenience now looks exactly like what it is, the place where her 8-year-old brother is going to die. I didn't know, she whispers, but it's too little, too late. The damage is done. 3 weeks of Jake's dwindling energy, poured into showing his family how much he loved them, destroyed in 30 seconds of jealous rage. And now he's fighting just to breathe while surrounded by the scattered pieces of his final gift. Dr. Martinez arrives within minutes, his usually calm demeanor replaced by focused concern as he examines Jake's monitors. His heart rate is 140, blood pressure's through the roof. What triggered this episode? I gesture helplessly at the destruction still scattered across the floor. Family disagreement. He got very upset. The doctor's eyes take in the broken wood, torn papers, and Claire's tear-streaked face holding what's left of a child's letter. His expression hardens. After 15 years in pediatric oncology, he's seen every kind of family crisis, but this hits different. Jake, buddy, I need you to try some deep breaths for me, okay? Dr. Martinez adjusts something on the floor line. Patricia, let's get him 2 milligrams of lorazepam to bring that heart rate down. Will it hurt him? Claire asks frantically. The medication, I mean. With everything else he's taking? It's necessary right now. His body can't handle this level of stress. Dr. Martinez glances meaningfully toward the door. Perhaps some family members could step outside while we stabilize him? It's not really a suggestion. I start to leave, but Mia hasn't moved from her chair by the window. She's staring at Jake with this horrible dawning comprehension, watching her little brother struggle to breathe because of what she did. Mia, come on. I touch her shoulder, but she shrugs me off. Is he going to die today? She asks Dr. Martinez directly. Because of what I did? The doctor pauses in adjusting Jake's oxygen cannula. What happened here didn't help his condition, but no, this isn't what will. He struggles with how much truth to give a 13-year-old girl. Today's episode won't be the cause, if that's what you're asking. But something will be. Soon. It's not a question anymore. Mia, Claire starts, but Dr. Martinez cuts her off with a gentle shake of his head. Yes, he tells Mia simply. Something will be, and it will be soon. That's why days like today matter so much. Every moment with Jake is precious now. I watch my niece's face crumble as 3 months of willful denial finally break apart. She's been acting out, demanding attention, treating Jake's illness like an inconvenience that was stealing her spotlight. But underneath all that attitude was a terrified kid who couldn't accept that her little brother was disappearing. The box, she whispers, looking at the ruins on the floor. Can we fix it? I kneel down and pick up what's left of the wooden frame. Jake had painted it blue, his favorite color, and carefully written each family member's name in silver marker. Most of the letters are smudged now, the wood cracked beyond repair. Some of the photos might be salvageable, I say carefully. And if any of the letters are readable. The one for me. Mia drops to her knees, frantically searching through the debris. He wrote me a letter, where is it? We search for 10 minutes, but Jake's letter to Mia is completely destroyed. I find pieces, fragments that say remember when and love you and don't be sad, but nothing coherent enough to read. The friendship bracelet he made her is intact, somehow, the pink and purple thread still bright against the hospital floor. This is all that's left? Mia holds the bracelet like it might disappear too. From your section, yes. I gather the salvageable pieces from everyone else's portions. Maybe half the photos survived, 2 of the 6 letters are partially readable. Weeks of Jake's careful work, reduced to a handful of torn memories. Jake's breathing has steadied somewhat, but he won't look at any of us. He's turned toward the wall, small and broken in his hospital bed. I want to tell him I'm sorry, Mia says. He's not ready to hear it yet, Dr. Martinez says quietly. Give him time. But time is exactly what we don't have. The next morning, I arrive at the hospital at 6 a.m. to find Jake's room empty. My heart stops until I see the note on his bedside table in Claire's handwriting, took him to the craft room. Back by 8. I find them in the Children's Activity Center, Jake hunched over a small table with Claire beside him. His oxygen tank sits next to his wheelchair, the clear tube snaking up to his nose. He's trying to rebuild the memory box with shaking hands, but his fine motor skills have deteriorated so much over the past month that he can barely hold the popsicle stick steady. Hey, buddy. I pull up a chair. What are we working on? It has to be perfect again, he whispers, his voice hoarse from yesterday's episode. Everyone needs their letters. I watch him struggle to squeeze a thin line of glue, his hands trembling from the medication. The stick slips and lands crooked, and he starts to cry, these quiet, frustrated tears that break my heart. Jake, sweetheart, you don't have to. Yes, I do. He wipes his nose with his sleeve. Mia was sad about her letter. I have to make a new one. Claire meets my eyes over Jake's head. She looks like she hasn't slept in days, her hair pulled back in a messy ponytail and yesterday's clothes wrinkled from sleeping in the hospital chair. He's been up since 4 a.m., she murmurs. Asking the night nurse if he could come here. He wants to rewrite everyone's letters before. She can't finish the sentence. Before he gets too weak. Before the disease takes away his ability to hold a pencil. Before there's no time left. Where's Mia? I ask. School. I made her go. She threw a fit about it, wanted to stay and help Jake, but she's missed too many days already. Claire rubs her temples. David's meeting with her principal this afternoon about her grades. Apparently she's failing 3 classes. I'm not surprised. Mia's been spiraling since Jake's diagnosis, but yesterday's breakdown revealed just how deep her fear goes. She's been acting out for months, and now her grades are suffering too. Has she said anything else about what happened? She keeps asking if Jake forgives her. I don't know what to tell her. Claire watches Jake laboriously form the letter D on a piece of construction paper. He won't talk about it. Every time I mention Mia's name, he just shuts down. Jake finishes writing Dear Mia and looks up at us. Can you help me with the hard words? Of course, buddy. What do you want to say? He thinks for a moment, his 8-year-old mind trying to navigate impossible concepts. I want to tell her about the time we built the snow fort in Grandpa's backyard. Remember? She let me be the king of the fort even though she built most of it. I remember. It was 2 Christmases ago, before anyone knew words like leukemia or blast cells or palliative care. Jake and Mia had spent hours in our father's backyard, packing snow and arguing about architectural details. Mia was 10 then, still young enough to play pretend without feeling embarrassed. That's a good memory, I tell him. I want her to remember the good parts about me, Jake says. Not yesterday. The simple wisdom of it hits me like a truck. Here's this dying 8-year-old, worried about his sister's feelings after she destroyed his final gift to her. He wants to comfort her. Jake, honey, you know that what Mia did wasn't your fault, right? Claire smooths his thin hair back from his forehead. She was angry and scared, but that doesn't make it okay. I know. He picks up a purple crayon to color the border of a letter. But she's my sister. I love her even when she's mean. Christ. I have to step outside for a minute, pretending I need coffee from the vending machine. In the hallway, I lean against the wall and try to collect myself. Jake is dying, and he's spending his precious remaining energy trying to make his sister feel better about destroying his final gift to her. Meanwhile, Mia is at school, probably telling her friends some sanitized version of events that makes her look like the victim. The injustice of it burns in my chest. Jake deserves better than this. When I get back to the craft room, I find Jake slumped over his letter, completely exhausted from 20 minutes of writing. His oxygen saturation has dropped to 89% according to the portable monitor, and Claire is already reaching for his wheelchair. I think that's enough for today, sweetheart, she says gently, but Jake shakes his head with what little energy he has left. Not finished. Mia needs her letter today. Jake, you can work on it tomorrow. What if there isn't a tomorrow? The question comes out so matter-of-factly that it takes a moment to register. Claire goes white. Don't say that, baby. You have lots of tomorrows. But Jake just looks at her with those two old eyes. Dr. Martinez told Nurse Patricia that my numbers are getting worse. I heard him yesterday after Mia left. He said maybe 2 weeks, not 5. The bottom drops out of my world. 2 weeks. Not the 5 we'd been clinging to. Jake's 8-year-old ears caught what we adults were trying to shield him from. Jake, Claire starts, but he's already turning back to his letter. Please help me finish it. I need to tell Mia about the snow fort, and about how she taught me to tie my shoes, and about how she always shared her Halloween candy with me even though I know she wanted to keep the good pieces. I sit back down and pick up a pen. Tell me what to write, buddy. For the next hour, Jake dictates while I transcribe his words in my neatest handwriting. He tells Mia about every kind thing she ever did for him, every moment she protected him from bullies at school, every time she included him in games with her friends when she could have easily left him behind. His memory is incredible. He recalls details from when he was 4 that I'd forgotten entirely. She helped me catch fireflies last summer when my counts were too low to run around much, he says, pausing to rest against his oxygen tank. She went really slow so I could keep up, and she let me hold the jar even though I kept forgetting to poke holes in the lid. By the time we finish, the letter is 3 pages long. 3 pages of pure love from a dying boy to the sister who destroyed his final gift in a fit of jealous rage. I fold it carefully and slide it into an envelope Jake decorates with purple hearts, Mia's favorite color. Should we give this to her when she gets here? Claire asks. No. Jake's voice is getting weaker, but his resolve is clear. I want to give everyone their new letters at the same time. Like before. This weekend, when everyone can come. This weekend. When Jake's oxygen levels are dropping daily and he can barely stay awake for more than an hour at a time. When every day might be his last. We'll make it happen, I promise him. That afternoon, while Jake sleeps, I call everyone. My parents, who live 3 hours north. Claire's in-laws from Portland. Jake's godfather Marcus from Seattle. Even Aunt Helen, who's been afraid to visit because hospitals make her anxious. This Saturday, I tell them all. Jake wants to give out his letters. It's important. I don't say it's probably the last time they'll all see him alive. I don't have to. They can hear it in my voice. The hardest call is to David, Claire's husband, who's been working overtime to pay for Jake's medical bills while maintaining some normalcy for Mia. She knows now, I tell him. About Jake. About how little time we have left. How's she handling it? Badly. But David, what she did to Jake's memory box. I explain everything, watching his shocked silence stretch across the phone line. Jesus Christ, he finally whispers. And Jake saw it all? She destroyed it right in front of him. 3 weeks of work, David. His final gift to everyone he loves, and she stomped on it because she was jealous of the attention. I'll talk to her when she gets home from school. But talking isn't going to fix this. Nothing is going to fix this. That evening, I get a call from David at 11:30 p.m. His voice is tight with exhaustion and something else, anger, maybe, or desperation. She won't apologize, he says without preamble. I sat Mia down for 3 hours tonight, explained everything about Jake's condition, about the memory box, about what her actions meant. You know what she said? I'm lying in my apartment, staring at the ceiling, but I sit up. What? She said Jake was being dramatic. That he'll forgive her eventually because that's what little brothers do. She actually rolled her eyes, Jessica. When I told her Jake might not live to see his 9th birthday, she rolled her fucking eyes and said everyone's being so dramatic about this. My blood runs cold. David, she's 13. Maybe she's just... No, listen. It gets worse. His voice cracks slightly. I found her Instagram from tonight. She posted about having family drama and how some people can't handle when others succeed. She made herself the victim, Jessica. She's telling her friends that Jake had a tantrum and broke his own project, and that everyone blamed her for it. I'm already reaching for my laptop. What's her username? Mia_2010. The post has 43 comments already. All her little friends comforting her about her toxic family situation. I find the post within seconds. There's Mia in her bedroom mirror, makeup perfectly applied, holding up a Starbucks cup with a pouty expression. The caption reads, ** when your family blames you for someone else's meltdown face with rolling eyes, some people really can't handle it when others actually accomplish things in life. Anyway, at least I have you guys read hard #family drama #blessed #real talk *. The comments are exactly what you'd expect from 13-year-old girls who only know Mia's version of events. OMG, your family sounds toxic, babe. You deserve so much better than this. They're probably just jealous of how mature and successful you are. Family can be the worst sometimes, you're literally perfect. My hands are shaking as I scroll through 43 comments of validation for Mia's complete fabrication of events. She's rewritten history in real time, transforming herself from the villain who destroyed a dying child's final gift into the misunderstood victim of family dysfunction. David, Jake can never see this. I know. But Jessica, what if someone at school finds out the truth? What if Jake's friends' parents hear about this? They'll think we raised a monster. The thought hadn't occurred to me, but he's right. Jake goes to Riverside Elementary. Mia goes to Riverside Middle School, just across the parking lot. The communities overlap. Parents talk. Has anyone else posted about Jake's condition? Claire put something on Facebook 2 weeks ago asking for prayers, but she kept it vague. Most people just know he's sick, not that he's. David can't say it either. None of us can. I'm still staring at Mia's post, at her perfectly curated lie designed to garner sympathy while Jake lies in a hospital bed rewriting the letter she destroyed. The contrast is so stark it makes me physically sick. There's something else, David continues. I talked to her guidance counselor today about her grades. Mrs. Patterson says Mia's been telling teachers that she's struggling because her parents favor her sick brother. She's been using Jake's illness to get extensions on assignments, makeup tests, extra credit opportunities. For how long? Since his diagnosis. 3 months, Jessica. She's been milking her brother's cancer for academic advantages while telling everyone she's a neglected child. I close my eyes, trying to process the calculation behind it. Mia has been systematically using Jake's terminal illness as a tool for personal gain while simultaneously resenting him for the attention his condition requires. She's weaponized his dying against him. Saturday, I say finally. We get through Saturday's letter ceremony. Jake needs that moment with his family. And after that? I look at Mia's Instagram post again, at her smug expression and her casual rewriting of events that nearly killed her dying brother yesterday. At the comments praising her maturity and condemning her toxic family for expecting basic human decency from her. After that, I say quietly, we make sure people know the truth. Friday morning, I'm back at the hospital by 7 a.m., carrying a box of supplies from the craft store. Construction paper, markers, glue sticks, ribbon, everything Jake might need to finish the remaining letters. But when I walk into his room, I find Dr. Martinez adjusting his foreline with a concerned expression. How's he doing? I ask quietly. His hemoglobin dropped to 6.2 overnight. We're starting another transfusion. Dr. Martinez glances toward Jake, who's sleeping fitfully with the oxygen cannula taped to his face. The nurses said he was asking for paper and pencils at 3 a.m. He's pushing himself too hard. Claire looks up from her chair beside the bed, dark circles under her eyes. He's determined to finish everyone's letters before tomorrow. I tried to tell him people would understand if he couldn't complete them all, but he got so upset that his oxygen levels dropped. I set the craft supplies on the windowsill and study Jake's pale face. Even unconscious, there's tension around his eyes, like he's worried about something in his dreams. Has Mia been back? She came by after school yesterday, but Jake pretended to be asleep. Claire's voice is flat with exhaustion. She sat there for 2 hours, trying to talk to him, but he wouldn't respond. Finally, she left that friendship bracelet on his bedside table and went home crying. I noticed the pink and purple bracelet, the one salvaged from the destroyed memory box, sitting untouched next to Jake's water cup. He hasn't acknowledged it. What did she say to him? The usual 13-year-old apology. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, I was just mad. But Jake. Claire shakes her head. He told me later that sorry doesn't put the photos back together. Those were his exact words. Dr. Martinez finishes with a 4 and makes notes on Jake's chart. I need to be honest with you both. His body is shutting down faster than we anticipated. The stress from Wednesday's incident seems to have accelerated things. My stomach drops. What does that mean for tomorrow? It means if he wants to give out those letters, tomorrow might be the only chance. Maybe Sunday, but I wouldn't count on it. He meets my eyes gravely. His heart is working too hard. The next few days are critical. After Dr. Martinez leaves, I sit in the chair Mia occupied yesterday and watch Jake sleep. The transfusion bag slowly drips life back into his tiny body, but we all know it's temporary. We're buying hours now, not days. My phone buzzes with a text from David, * Mia's guidance counselor called. She missed first period this morning, found crying in the bathroom. Says she can't concentrate knowing her brother hates her. *. I stare at the message, torn between sympathy for a scared 13-year-old and rage at her perfectly timed breakdown. Jake is getting blood transfusions to survive until tomorrow, and Mia is having a crisis because her dying brother won't forgive her on her timeline. Another text from David, * she wants to write Jake a letter too. For tomorrow. Says she has things to tell him. *. I look at the untouched bracelet on Jake's bedside table, then at his sleeping face. Part of me wants to encourage any gesture that might bring them peace before it's too late. But a larger part of me remembers Jake's words, sorry doesn't put the photos back together. Tell her she can try, I text back. * but Jake decides if he's ready to hear it. *. Around noon, Jake wakes up enough to ask for his writing supplies. Claire and I help him sit up in bed, propping pillows behind his back and adjusting his oxygen flow. His hands shake as he picks up a pencil, but his determination is fierce. Whose letter are we working on today? I ask. Grandma's, he whispers. I want to tell her about the chocolate chip cookies she taught me to make last Christmas. I watch him form each letter with painstaking care, his 8-year-old script wobbling from the medication but still unmistakably his own. Every few minutes, he has to rest, but he always picks the pencil back up. We have less than 24 hours, and Jake is racing against his own dying body to finish what Mia destroyed. That evening, I'm helping Jake write his letter to our father when my phone starts buzzing incessantly. Text after text from numbers I don't recognize, all containing screenshots of social media posts. My stomach sinks as I realize what's happening. Someone leaked the truth about Jake. I need to step outside for a minute, buddy, I tell Jake, who's carefully drawing a baseball in the margin of Dad's letter, a reference to the games they used to attend together before the treatments made Jake too weak for crowds. In the hallway, I open the first screenshot. It's from the Instagram account of Madison Chen, one of Mia's classmates. The post shows a photo of Jake from his school's website, a picture from last year's holiday concert where he's smiling and healthy, before anyone knew he was sick. The caption makes my blood run cold, * this is Mia Morrison's little brother Jake. He's 8 years old and dying of cancer. Yesterday Mia destroyed a memory box he spent weeks making for his family because she was jealous of the attention he gets for literally dying. She stomped on his final letters to everyone he loves and put him in the hospital. But sure Mia, tell us more about your toxic family, clownface # exposed # mimoriciny sepsipath *. The post already has 127 comments and 89 shares. I scroll through them with mounting horror. * wait what? Her brother is dying and she did what? *. I always knew Mia was fake, but this is actually evil. That poor little boy, OMG, I'm literally crying. Screenshot before she blocks everyone and tries to delete. Mia Morrison is officially cancelled. More screenshots flood my phone. The story is spreading across Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Someone found Jake's school photo and paired it with Mia's family drama post from Wednesday night. The contrast is devastating. Jake's innocent 8-year-old smile next to Mia's pouty selfie complaining about toxic family. Within hours, #JusticeForJake is trending locally. My phone rings. David's name flashes on the screen, and I can hear shouting in the background before I even answer. Jessica, what the hell is happening? His voice is strained. Mia came home from school hysterical. She says everyone's calling her a monster, that teachers are looking at her differently, that someone spit on her locker. David, I didn't. Her Instagram has 2,000 comments. 2,000. People are posting Jake's photo everywhere, calling for her to be expelled. There are parents saying she shouldn't be allowed around other children. He's talking fast, panic evident. One woman posted our home address, Jessica. Our actual address with a caption saying this is where the girl who tortures dying children lives. I lean against the hospital wall, overwhelmed. How did this get out? We didn't tell anyone outside the family. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Mia swears she didn't tell anyone the real story. She's been sticking to her version where Jake broke his own project. David pauses, and I hear Mia sobbing in the background. But someone who knows the truth posted everything. Details only we would know, like the fact that Jake made friendship bracelets, that he wrote individual letters, that the box was painted blue. My mind races through the possibilities. The hospital staff who cleaned up the wreckage. Dr. Martinez who witnessed the aftermath. The nurses who saw Jake's distress. Family members we called about Saturday's gathering. David, bring her here. What? No, absolutely not. Jake doesn't want to see her, and she's in no state to. Bring her here tonight. Before this gets any worse. I watch another notification pop up on my phone. A local mom blogger with 50,000 followers has shared Jake's story. She needs to face what she did. Really face it. Because right now the entire internet is doing it for her. Jessica, she's 13 years old. She made a terrible mistake, but this is destroying her life. She destroyed Jake's final wish, I say quietly. Right now, he's in there using the last of his strength to rewrite letters that she trampled because she couldn't stand him getting attention for dying. So forgive me if I'm not worried about her trending on social media. 2 hours later, David arrives with Mia, who looks like she hasn't stopped crying since getting home from school. Her eyes are swollen and red, her hair is unwashed, and she's wearing the same clothes from yesterday. The confident, perfectly put-together 13-year-old from her Instagram posts is completely gone. Where's Jake? She asks immediately. Sleeping. Dr. Martinez had to sedate him after his oxygen dropped during letter writing. I study her face, looking for signs of the callous girl who destroyed her dying brother's gift. All I see is a terrified child. Mia, do you understand what's happening online? People hate me. Her voice is barely a whisper. Everyone at school knows. My teachers know. Even the lunch ladies were staring at me. She wipes her nose with her sleeve. Someone made a TikTok video calling me a psychopath sister and it has 100,000 views. Why do you think that is? Because someone told them what I did. She looks up at me with desperate eyes. But I was going to fix it. I wrote Jake a letter. I was going to apologize tomorrow in front of everyone. I was going to make it right. Mia, I say as gently as I can, Jake might not have many tomorrows left. Dr. Martinez thinks maybe days, not weeks. You can't fix what you broke, but you destroyed something irreplaceable with the time he had left. She starts crying again, and for the first time since Wednesday, I feel a flicker of sympathy for her. She's still a child, even if she made a horrible choice. But then I remember Jake shaking hands as he rewrote everyone's letters, racing against his own death to repair what his sister destroyed in 30 seconds of rage. We're interrupted by Claire emerging from Jake's room, her face pale with exhaustion. She takes one look at Mia's tear-streaked face and David's strained expression and immediately understands. How bad is it? She asks quietly. David shows her his phone. The #JusticeForJake hashtag now has over 10,000 posts. Someone created a GoFundMe for Jake's medical expenses that's raised $23,000 in 4 hours. Local news station KPTV shared the story on their Facebook page with the headline 8-year-old's dying wish destroyed by jealous sister. Jesus Christ, Claire breathes. Mia, honey. I know everyone hates me, Mia interrupts, fresh tears starting. Emma's mom called her and told her she's not allowed to be friends with me anymore. Tyler Chen's older brother posted a video of himself burning a photo of me. Mrs. Patterson, my guidance counselor, she looked at me today like I was some kind of monster. I watch Claire struggle with her maternal instincts. Part of her wants to comfort her daughter, but another part, the part that's been watching Jake fight for every breath, remains rigid with anger. Maybe you should have thought about that before you decided to destroy your dying brother's final gift, Claire says, her voice colder than I've ever heard it. Mom, please. No, Mia. Do you know what Jake asked me today while you were at school having your breakdown? He asked if we could donate his birthday money to the children's hospital craft room so other sick kids could make memory boxes. He's worried about other families going through what we're going through. That's what an 8-year-old thinks about when he's dying. The hallway falls silent except for the steady beeping of machines from nearby rooms. A nurse walks past, recognizes our family, and gives us a sympathetic nod. Word has spread through the hospital staff too. I want to see him, Mia whispers. He's sedated, I tell her. Dr. Martinez had to give him something to help him rest after his blood pressure spiked again. Because of the letters? Because his body is shutting down, Mia. The letters are just what he's choosing to spend his last energy on instead of sleeping or eating or any of the other things that might buy him a few more hours. David's phone rings. He glances at the screen and frowns. It's Principal Matthews. At 9 p.m. He steps away to answer, and we can hear fragments, understand the situation, difficult for all students, counseling services available. When he hangs up, his expression is grim. They're recommending Mia finish the semester with independent study. At home. The school board is meeting Monday to discuss whether what happened constitutes grounds for disciplinary action. What does that mean? Claire asks. It means they're considering expulsion. Apparently, 3 families have already pulled their kids from school because they don't want them around Mia. The parents are saying if she could do that to her own dying brother, what might she do to their children? Mia lets out a sound that's somewhere between a sob and a scream. It was one mistake. One stupid, horrible mistake, and now my entire life is ruined. Jake only gets one life, I say quietly. And you chose to spend part of what's left of it making him cry over destroyed memories instead of creating new ones. Through the window of Jake's room, I can see a small form under the hospital blankets, an oxygen mask covering half his face now instead of just the nasal cannula. The sedation has finally given him peace, but even unconscious, he looks fragile enough to break. The ceremony tomorrow, Claire says suddenly. We can't do it. Not with Jake this unstable. He'll be devastated, I protest. He's been working toward this all week. Jessica, look at him. Look at those monitors. Dr. Martinez said his heart can't handle any more stress. I stare through the glass at Jake's still form, then at Mia sobbing in the hallway, then at my phone still buzzing with notifications as his story spreads across the internet. 10,000 strangers are outraged on Jake's behalf, but the person whose forgiveness he wants most can't even look him in the eye. And now we might not have enough time left for either of them to find their way back to each other. Saturday morning arrives with a kind of gray October sky that feels like a bad omen. I'm at the hospital by 6 a.m., carrying a thermos of coffee and a knot of dread in my stomach. Jake's ceremony is supposed to happen at 2 p.m., assuming he's stable enough. When I walk into his room, I find him sitting up in bed, fully alert for the first time in days. The oxygen mask has been replaced with a nasal cannula, and there's color in his cheeks that wasn't there yesterday. Aunt Jess. His voice is stronger than it's been all week. Look, I finished Grandpa's letter. Claire looks up from the bedside chair with cautious hope in her eyes. His numbers improved overnight. Dr. Martinez can't explain it, but his hemoglobin stabilized and his heart rate normalized around 4 a.m. Jake holds up a carefully folded piece of construction paper decorated with baseball stickers. I told Grandpa about when he taught me to keep score at the Mariners game. Remember? I got confused about RBIs, and he explained it like 17 times until I understood. The memory hits me like a punch to the chest. That was in June, just 2 weeks before Jake's diagnosis. We'd all been so focused on explaining baseball statistics to an eager 8-year-old that nobody noticed how easily he got tired walking to our seats, or how pale he looked under the stadium lights. That's beautiful, buddy. Is everyone still coming today? Yep. Mom called everyone this morning. Grandma and Grandpa are driving down from Seattle, Uncle Marcus is flying in from Portland, and even Great Aunt Helen is coming. Jake's excitement is infectious, but I catch the worried look Claire shoots me over his head. What about Mia? I ask carefully. Jake's smile falters slightly. She can come if she wants. I made her a new letter. Just like that? You forgive her? I don't know about forgiving, Jake says with startling wisdom for an 8-year-old. But she's still my sister. And I won't be here much longer to be mad at her. My phone buzzes with a text from David, * Mia's been up all night. Found her sleeping on the kitchen floor at 5 a.m., clutching a letter she wrote for Jake. She's terrified he won't want to hear it. *. I show the message to Claire, who reads it with a complicated expression. What do you think? I think Jake gets to decide. It's his day. By noon, the hospital waiting room looks like a family reunion. My parents sit with Jake's paternal grandparents, sharing quiet conversation and worried glances. Uncle Marcus paces by the windows, checking his phone obsessively. Great Aunt Helen clutches a homemade photo album she's brought as a gift. David arrives at 1:30 with Mia, who looks like she's going to throw up. She's wearing a simple black dress, no makeup, no jewelry, her hair pulled back in a plain ponytail. She looks younger than 13, scared and small. Has anyone said anything to you about the online stuff? I asked David quietly. The parking garage attendant recognized her. Called her that girl from the news. His jaw tightens. Channel 7 wants to interview us. They're calling it a story about sibling rivalry gone wrong during family tragedy. Absolutely not. That's what I told them. But Jessica, the school board meeting is Monday. 3 more families have filed formal complaints. They're saying Mia's behavior indicates severe emotional disturbance and she shouldn't be around other children. I watch Mia sitting alone in a corner chair, staring at the folded letter in her hands. What did the letter say? The one she wrote Jake? I don't know. She wouldn't let us read it. David rubs his temples. She just keeps saying it has to be perfect, that she only gets one chance to make this right. At 2 p.m. sharp, we gather in Jake's room. He's sitting up in his wheelchair, dressed in his favorite superhero t-shirt, with a small cardboard box in his lap. It's not as elaborate as the original memory box, just a simple shoebox wrapped in blue construction paper, but his pride in it is unmistakable. I made new letters for everyone, Jake announces to the room full of adults fighting back tears. They're not exactly the same as before, but I tried to remember all the important parts. He starts with our parents, handing them each an envelope decorated with hearts and their names in his careful 8-year-old handwriting. Mom breaks down completely reading hers, 3 pages about how she makes the best pancakes and always kisses his forehead before bedtime and taught him that it's okay to cry when you're scared. Dad gets a letter about fishing trips and bedtime stories and how he always makes Jake feel brave, even during the scariest medical procedures. Uncle Marcus receives pages about their shared love of video games and how he taught Jake to whistle. Great Aunt Helen cries over memories Jake recalled about her famous apple pie and the way she hums while cooking. Each letter is a masterpiece of love and gratitude, written by a dying child who chose to spend his final energy celebrating the people who matter most to him. Finally, Jake looks at Mia, who hasn't moved from her position by the door. I wrote you a letter too, he says quietly. Do you want to hear it? The room holds its breath as Jake extends a purple envelope toward Mia. She hasn't moved from her spot by the door, clutching her own letter so tightly the paper is wrinkled. I don't deserve it, she whispers, loud enough for everyone to hear. Not after what I did. Mia, Jake says with that impossible 8-year-old wisdom, it's not about deserving. It's about remembering. She takes 3 hesitant steps forward and accepts the envelope with shaking hands. Her name is written across the front in Jake's careful script, surrounded by tiny purple hearts, her favorite color, just like the friendship bracelet she made him that still sits untouched on his bedside table. Mia unfolds the letter and begins reading silently, her eyes moving across Jake's words. Within seconds, tears are streaming down her face. Her shoulders start shaking, and she covers her mouth with one hand to muffle the sobs. Read it out loud, Grandma suggests gently. So we can all hear Jake's beautiful words. I can't, Mia chokes out. He's too good to me. Jake wheels his chair closer. Do you want me to read it? Mia nods, unable to speak, and hands the letter back to him. Jake clears his throat and begins. Dear Mia, I know you're sad about breaking my memory box, but I want you to know that the best memories can't be broken because they live in our hearts. I remember when you taught me to ride my bike in Grandpa's driveway, and you ran beside me for 2 whole hours even though you got blisters on your feet. I remember when Tommy Anderson called me a baby for crying during the movie at school, and you told him that only real men are brave enough to show their feelings. Jake pauses for breath, and I notice his oxygen levels are holding steady despite the emotional intensity. It's like his body is giving him this one last gift, the strength to deliver his final messages. I remember last Christmas when I was too sick to go sledding with the cousins, and you stayed inside with me instead and taught me to play that card game even though you really wanted to go outside. I remember how you always saved me the last piece of birthday cake, and how you let me pick the movie on Friday nights even when I always choose the same superhero one. Mia is crying so hard now that she can barely breathe. David moves to put an arm around her, but she shrugs him off, forcing herself to listen to every word. I remember the night after my first chemo when I was too scared to sleep, and you snuck into my room and told me stories about brave nights until I fell asleep. You probably don't remember that, but I do. I remember all the times you protected me and took care of me and made me feel like having a big sister was the best thing in the world. Jake looks up from the letter to meet Mia's eyes directly. I'm not mad about the box anymore, Mia. I'm sad that you thought I didn't love you enough. Because you're the best big sister, even when you make mistakes. The room is completely silent except for Mia's ragged breathing and the steady beep of Jake's monitors. Uncle Marcus has turned to face the window, his shoulders tense. Great Aunt Helen is openly weeping into her handkerchief. Mia drops to her knees beside Jake's wheelchair, still clutching her own letter. I wrote you something too, she manages between sobs. But after hearing yours, I don't know if. I want to hear it, Jake says firmly. Whatever you wrote, I want to hear it. Mia unfolds her crumpled letter with trembling hands and begins to read in a voice barely above a whisper. Dear Jake, I am the worst sister in the world, and I don't know how to live with what I did to you. I watch Mia's face crumble as she reads her own words back to Jake, her voice breaking on every syllable. I was jealous of a dying 8-year-old boy because people cared about him more than me. I destroyed the most beautiful thing you ever made because I couldn't stand that you were better at being loved than I was. Jake reaches out and touches her arm. Mia. No, let me finish. She wipes her nose with her sleeve, the same gesture I've seen Jake make 100 times. I used your sickness to get better grades. I told my teachers I was struggling because my parents loved you more than me. I lied to my friends and said you were being dramatic about being sick because I didn't want them feeling sorry for you instead of me. The room goes dead silent. David's face has gone completely white, and Claire actually takes a step backward like Mia's words physically pushed her. Every time someone asked how you were doing, I wanted to scream that I was doing things too. I got an A on my history project, I made varsity volleyball as an 8th grader, I won a school science fair. But all anyone cared about was that you were dying. Mia's voice grows stronger, more defiant, even through her tears. And I hated you for it. I actually hated my dying little brother for getting attention I thought I deserved. Mia, stop, David says sharply, but she shakes her head. When I saw everyone crying over your memory box, praising how thoughtful you were, how special your letters were, something inside me just broke. I wanted to destroy something that made you look good because I was tired of looking bad in comparison. She looks directly at Jake, her face streaked with tears and snot. I stomped on it because I wanted you to feel as invisible as I did. The cardiac monitor starts beeping faster. Jake's breathing has become shallow, and Claire immediately moves toward his oxygen tank, but he waves her away. Are you sorry? Jake asks quietly. Yes, but not the way I should be. Mia's honesty is brutal and unexpected. I'm sorry because everyone found out and now I'm the villain. I'm sorry because you almost died and it would have been my fault. I'm sorry because Mom and Dad look at me like they don't know who I am anymore. She pauses, struggling with her next words. But Jake, I don't know if I'm sorry about being jealous. I don't know how to not be angry that you get to be the hero of this story just by being sick. Jesus Christ, Mia, David breathes. But Jake is nodding slowly, like her words make perfect sense to him. You think dying makes me special. Doesn't it? Everyone talks about how brave you are, how mature, how inspiring. But I'm 13 and I'm scared and angry and nobody cares because I'm not the one with cancer. Dr. Martinez chooses that moment to walk in for his afternoon check, takes one look at the family tableau, Mia on her knees sobbing, adults staring in shocked silence, Jake's monitors showing elevated stress levels, and immediately moves to his patient. What's Jake's oxygen saturation? He asks Claire curtly. 92 and holding, she reports, her voice mechanical. Heart rate? 120, but it's been steady for the last few minutes. Dr. Martinez studies Jake's face, checking his pupils and skin color. How are you feeling, buddy? Do you need us to clear the room? No, Jake says with surprising firmness. We're not done yet. Jake, I start, but he cuts me off with a look that's far too old for his 8-year-old face. Mia, do you want me to die? He asks his sister directly. What? No. Of course not. Do you love me? Yes, you're my little brother, of course I love you. Then we can figure out the rest later. Jake's voice is getting weaker, but his resolve remains strong. I don't have time to stay mad at you. And you don't have time to keep hating me for being sick. Dr. Martinez checks his watch and gives us a meaningful look. 5 more minutes. Jake's had enough excitement for one day. But Jake isn't finished. He reaches into his cardboard memory box and pulls out one final item, the pink and purple friendship bracelet Mia made him, the one that survived the destruction of his original box. I want you to have this back, he tells her. Jake, no. I made that for you. And I'm giving it to you so you'll remember that we loved each other before all this got complicated. His small hands shake as he holds out the bracelet. When I'm gone, I don't want you to remember the fight. I want you to remember that you taught me to tie my shoes and you shared your Halloween candy and you stayed with me when I was scared. Mia takes the bracelet with trembling fingers, and for a moment she looks exactly like the 10-year-old girl who spent hours building snow forts with her little brother. Time's up, Dr. Martinez says gently but firmly. Jake needs to rest now. As our family begins filing out of the room, Mia hangs back. Jake? Will you forgive me? Eventually? Jake considers this with the seriousness of someone much older. I think so. But Mia? You have to forgive yourself too. Being jealous doesn't make you evil. It just makes you 13. Outside in the hallway, the reckoning begins. Claire corners David by the vending machines, her voice low and furious. Did you know? About her using his illness for grades, for sympathy? I suspected something, but not the extent of it. David runs his hands through his hair. Claire, she's been seeing the school counselor twice a week. I thought we were handling it. Handling it? She's been systematically manipulating Jake's terminal diagnosis for personal gain while resenting him for dying. Claire's voice rises dangerously. That's not typical teenage acting out, David. That's sociopathic. My phone buzzes with another notification. The online mob has found new fuel. Someone recorded video of our family entering the hospital today and posted it with the caption, "Psychopath sister shows up to torment dying brother at his final goodbye ceremony." The video already has 30,000 views. The video playing on my phone shows Mia walking through the hospital entrance, her face puffy from crying, clutching that letter in her hands. But the person filming added a caption that makes my blood run cold. Final update, evil sister arrives to finish what she started. Betting she makes the dying kid cry again. Hashtag justice for Jake, hashtag Mia Monster Morrison. 30,000 people have watched my 13-year-old niece being stalked by strangers with cameras, turning Jake's goodbye ceremony into public entertainment. The comments are vicious. Someone should call CPS, this girl is dangerous. Imagine being so heartless you torture your dying brother. The parents failed both kids, one's dying and the other's a psychopath. That hospital should ban her from seeing him. David, I call him over, showing him the video. This is escalating beyond social media drama. People are literally following your family around now. His face goes ashen as he reads the comments. Jesus Christ. How did they know we'd be here today? How did they know about the ceremony? The answer hits me like ice water. Someone we told. Someone in our family circle leaked the details. I scan the hallway where our relatives are gathered, mom and dad talking quietly by the windows, Uncle Marcus on his phone, Great Aunt Helen organizing the letters Jake distributed. Who else knew the exact time and location? Before David can answer, Dr. Martinez appears at my elbow. Ms. Chen, I need to speak with your family privately. Now. He leads us to a small conference room away from the main corridor. Claire follows, still shaking with anger from her confrontation with David. Through the glass walls, I can see our family members clustering together, whispering and checking their phones. We have a problem, Dr. Martinez says without preamble. Hospital security just informed me that there are photographers positioned outside all 3 main entrances. Someone called Channel 7 and told them Jake was having his final goodbye today. They want footage of him leaving the building. He's not leaving the building, Claire says sharply. He's too weak to go home. I know that. But they don't. And there's something else. Dr. Martinez pulls out his tablet, showing us a news website. The headline reads, Local boy's heartbreaking final wish destroyed by sister's jealous rage, family speaks out. Below it is a photo of Jake from his school yearbook, and a quote attributed to close family friend, Jake Morrison, 8, spent his dying weeks creating memory boxes for his loved ones until his 13-year-old sister Mia destroyed them in a fit of jealousy. The family is devastated that Jake's final gift of love was met with such cruelty. They're asking for privacy during this difficult time, but want people to know what Jake's letters meant to everyone who received them. Asterisk. Who the hell is talking to reporters? David's voice is dangerous. My phone rings. Marcus's name flashes on the screen, and I answer it immediately. Marcus, where are you? In the parking garage. Jess, there are news vans everywhere. Someone with a camera just tried to follow me into the elevator asking about Jake's final ceremony and whether Mia showed genuine remorse. His voice is tight. I think we have a leak. Through the conference room glass, I watch Great Aunt Helen scrolling through her phone with an expression I can't quite read. She's always been the family gossip, the one who knows everyone's business and shares it freely at church socials and neighborhood gatherings. Helen, I breathe. Dr. Martinez follows my gaze. The elderly woman with a photo album? She means well, but she talks. To everyone. Her book club, her church group, her neighbor Mrs. Patterson who works at. My stomach drops. Who works at the school district office? David, isn't Patterson the name of Mia's guidance counselor? Mrs. Patterson, yes. But that would mean. David goes pale. Helen's been talking to someone connected to the school. Someone who knew about Jake's condition, about the memory box, about today's ceremony. Claire is already moving toward the door. I'm going to kill her. I'm actually going to kill my own aunt. Wait, Dr. Martinez stops her. Before you confront anyone, you need to know that Jake's condition has deteriorated since the ceremony. His blood pressure spiked to dangerous levels during the emotional exchange with Mia. We've given him medication to stabilize him, but what? But I don't think he has days anymore. Maybe hours. The stress of today, combined with his body's natural progression. I think you should call any family members who aren't here yet. The words hit like physical blows. Hours. Not the weekend we'd hoped for. Not even tomorrow. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. Asterisk, this is Rebecca Martinez from Channel 7. We understand Jake Morrison passed away this afternoon. Can the family provide a statement about his final moments and whether his sister was present? Asterisk. What the hell? I show the message to Dr. Martinez, whose face goes white. Jake is very much alive, he says firmly. But somehow rumors are circulating that he's already died. This is exactly the kind of chaos we were trying to avoid. Through the conference room window, I see a hospital security guard approaching Great Aunt Helen. She's gesturing animatedly, apparently explaining something, while other family members watch in confusion. My phone rings again. This time it's a number I recognize, Channel 7's main line. Don't answer it, David says, but I'm already hitting decline. Immediately, another call comes through. Then another. Within minutes, all three of our phones are ringing constantly with calls from news outlets, social media influencers, and numbers we don't recognize. Dr. Martinez, I say quietly, we need to get Jake out of here. Away from the cameras, away from the chaos. Can you transfer him somewhere private? Transfer him where? He's too unstable to move between facilities, and every hospital in the metro area has seen this story. There's nowhere to hide. The conference room door opens and Uncle Marcus sticks his head in. Jess, we have a bigger problem. Someone just posted Jake's exact room number on TikTok. Hospital security is trying to clear people from the pediatric wing, but there are strangers with flowers and stuffed animals trying to visit him. Through the chaos of ringing phones and family drama and media attention, one thought cuts through everything else like a knife. Jake is dying, possibly tonight, and instead of spending his final hours surrounded by love and peace, he's trapped in the center of a social media circus that's spinning completely out of control. And somewhere in this mess is the family member who turned my nephew's final goodbye into public entertainment. The security guard's radio crackles as he approaches our conference room. Dr. Martinez, we need you immediately. The boy's vitals are spiking again. We rush back to Jake's room to find chaos. Somehow, three strangers made it past hospital security, a woman in her 50s clutching a teddy bear, a teenager with a phone recording everything, and a man in a suit who's clearly a reporter. They're crowded around Jake's bed while he sits in his wheelchair, overwhelmed and struggling to breathe. Get them out. Claire shouts, but the teenager keeps filming. Jake, how do you feel about your sister's apology? The reporter asks, shoving a microphone toward my dying nephew. Do you forgive her for destroying your memory box? Jake's oxygen levels plummet to 86%. Dr. Martinez physically shoves the reporter aside while nurses rush in with emergency equipment. Security. Now. Dr. Martinez barks as he adjusts Jake's oxygen flow. The woman with the teddy bear starts crying, saying she just wanted to give Jake something to remember people care about him. The teenager is still recording, narrating for her followers, OMG you guys, Jake Morrison looks so much sicker than in his photos, this is literally so sad. It takes 4 security guards to clear the room. As they escort the strangers out, I hear the reporter on his phone, yeah, I got footage. Kid looks like he's got hours, not days. And get this, the whole family's falling apart. I think there's about to be a confrontation with whoever leaked the story. My hands shake as I watch Jake struggle with his oxygen mask. This morning he was strong enough to read letters aloud. Now he can barely keep his eyes open. The room number, I realize aloud. Marcus said someone posted Jake's room number on TikTok. How did they get that information? Dr. Martinez finishes adjusting Jake's floor and turns to us with barely controlled fury. Room assignments are confidential medical information. The only people who should know that number are immediate family and medical staff. And whoever's been calling reporters, David adds grimly. Claire's phone buzzes with a text. She glances at it and her face goes completely white. It's from Helen's neighbor, Mrs. Patterson from the school district. She says Helen's been posting updates in their church Facebook group all week. Detailed updates. About Jake's condition, about the memory box, about Mia's behavior, about today's ceremony. Show me, I demand. Claire opens her phone and navigates to a private Facebook group called ST. Mary's Prayer Circle, 847 members. The recent posts make my stomach turn. Asterisk Helen Morrison Chin, 4 days ago, please pray for my great-nephew Jake Morrison, 8 years old, dying of leukemia at Children's Hospital Room 314. His sister Mia destroyed a beautiful memory box he made for the family. The poor child's heart is broken. Doctors say days not weeks now. Asterisk. Asterisk Helen Morrison Chin, 2 days ago, update on little Jake, he's trying to remake the letters his sister destroyed. So brave. The family is gathering Saturday at 2 p.m. for his final goodbye ceremony. Praying he has strength to finish his beautiful messages. Asterisk. Asterisk Helen Morrison Chin, this morning, heading to Children's Hospital now for Jake's letter ceremony. His sister Mia will be there, praying she shows genuine remorse for what she did to that sweet boy. We'll update everyone tonight. Asterisk. 847 church members have had access to Jake's private medical information, his room number, his ceremony details, and a completely one-sided version of Mia's actions. The comments under each post show how quickly the story spread. Share this with my daughter's soccer team for prayers. My book club is making prayer cards for Jake. Posted in our neighborhood watch group asking everyone to pray. My grandson goes to school with some kids from this family, so heartbreaking. Each share multiplied Jake's story across dozens of other groups, eventually reaching someone who contacted the media. Dr. Martinez, I say quietly, we need to move Jake to a different room immediately. Already in progress. We're transferring him to the secure wing where we treat patients whose families have restraining orders or witness protection situations. No visitors without prior approval, no room numbers given out, limited staff access. As if on cue, Helen appears in the doorway looking confused and slightly defensive. What's all the commotion? I brought Jake some cookies from the cafeteria. The silence that follows is deafening. Claire stares at her aunt with an expression I've never seen before, pure, cold rage mixed with betrayal. Helen, Claire's voice is deadly quiet, did you post about Jake in your church Facebook group? Well, yes, dear. People have been asking how to pray for him specifically. I thought it would be helpful to share updates. Helen's tone suggests she thinks she's done something wonderful. The prayer support has been tremendous. Mrs. Patterson said her whole book club has been lighting candles for Jake every night. You shared his room number. His private medical information. The details of our family situation. Each word comes out like a bullet. You turned my dying son into a social media story. Claire, I was trying to help. People care about Jake. They want to support your family during this difficult time. Support? David's voice cracks. Helen, there are news crews outside. Strangers broke into Jake's room 20 minutes ago. Someone posted rumors that he already died. Your prayer support has turned into a media circus. Helen's face crumples as the reality hits her. I didn't know. I thought I was being helpful. The church groups are private, I never imagined. But the damage is done. Jake's final days have become public entertainment, and somewhere in that crowd of 847 prayer warriors was someone who saw an opportunity to sell a heartbreaking story to the highest bidder. The secure wing of Children's Hospital feels like a different world, quieter, more protected, with keycard access and security cameras at every entrance. Jake's new room overlooks the hospital's memorial garden instead of the parking lot where news vans are still circling like vultures. It's been 6 hours since we moved him, and his condition has stabilized somewhat. The constant chaos of strangers and cameras and ringing phones had been literally killing him. His heart rate dropped 20 points within an hour of reaching the secure ward. Better? I asked Jake, who's managed to stay awake for more than 10 minutes straight for the first time today. Much better, he whispers, his voice hoarse but clear. Too many people before. I just wanted it to be us. Claire sits beside his bed, holding his small hand. The anger from earlier has been replaced by exhausted grief, but also something that looks like peace. It's just family now, sweetheart. No more strangers, no more cameras. What about Mia? She's in the family room down the hall, writing in her journal. The therapist Dr. Martinez recommended said it might help her process everything. Claire smooths Jake's thin hair. She's been there for 3 hours, writing you another letter. She doesn't need to write me more letters, Jake says with a small smile. The one today was perfect. Through the window, I can see the memorial garden where families sometimes scatter ashes or plant flowers for children who didn't make it home. In a few days or weeks, we'll probably be down there ourselves, trying to figure out how to say goodbye to Jake in a way that honors who he was instead of how he died. My phone, mercifully silent for the past hour, buzzes with a text from Marcus. Helen's church group has been shut down pending investigation. Turns out Mrs. Patterson's daughter works for Channel 7. That's how the story got to the media. Helen's devastated, blames herself for everything. Asterisk. I show the message to Claire, who reads it without expression. Good, she says simply. Actions have consequences. Even for 70-year-old church ladies who meant well? Especially for them. Jake's privacy mattered more than her need to be the center of attention at prayer circle. Claire's voice is firm. Just like his final wishes mattered more than Mia's jealousy. Jake shifts in his bed, drawing our attention back to him. Can I tell you guys something? Always, buddy. I'm not scared anymore. His 8-year-old voice carries a certainty that makes my chest tight. I was scared about leaving everyone sad, but today, seeing everyone read their letters, seeing Mia finally understand. I think you'll all be okay. Jake. I know I'm dying tonight, he continues matter-of-factly. Dr. Martinez's face changed after dinner. And I'm really, really tired. But I got to give everyone their letters. I got to tell Mia I love her even though she made a big mistake. And now there's all these people I never met who know my story and maybe they'll be nicer to their own brothers and sisters. Claire starts crying silently, but Jake reaches over and touches her cheek. Don't be sad, Mom. I did what I wanted to do. I told everyone how much I love them, and they told me how much they love me. That's all I needed. At 11:47 p.m., surrounded by family in a quiet room far from cameras and strangers and social media storms, Jake Morrison closes his eyes for the last time. His final words are, tell Mia the bracelet looks pretty on her, because even at the end, he's thinking about his sister's feelings. The internet will move on to the next viral story within days, but Jake's letters, the ones Mia destroyed and the ones he rewrote with his dying strength, will be treasured by our family forever. Some final wishes are stronger than the worst people can do to them.